When you go on new creative journeys, it is exciting for people to appreciate that.
Yeah.
Especially if people, didn't think that it was possible. Like when I started off in Chicago as an artist, I'm a visual artist. Like I went to art school.
Right.
And I decided to start doing music, and people said it wouldn't work out. And then I started producing and selling beats, and I started selling beats to Jay-Z, Rockefeller, and that started going well. And I said I wanted to rap, and people said that wasn't gonna work. They had this term, producer rapper. It basically meant you wouldn't rap as the real rappers. And that started working out. Then I said I wanted to design clothes, and then that started working out. Well, it's funny, in this world that we live in, there's two main motivating forces, and I tweet about it all the time. It's love or fear. And you can't explain love. My cousin is locked up for murder, and I love him. And so he did a bad thing, but I still love him. And just as a musician, African-American, guy out in Hollywood, all these different things, everyone around me tried to pick my candidate for me. And then told me every time I said I like Trump that I couldn't say it out loud or my career would be over. I'd get kicked out the Black community because we're supposed to have a monolithic thought. We can only be Democrats and all. Even when I said it right before I went to the hospital and I expressed myself, and when I came out, I had lost my confidence. So I didn't have the confidence to take on the world and the possible backlash. And it took me a year and a half to have the confidence to stand up and put on the hat, no matter what the consequences were. And what it represented to me is not about policies, and because I'm not a politician like that, but it represented overcoming fear and doing what you felt, no matter what anyone said, and saying, you can't bully me. Liberals can't bully me, news can't bully me, the hip hop community, they can't bully me. Because at that point, if I'm afraid to be me, I'm no longer Ye. That's what makes Ye. And I actually quite enjoy when people actually are mad at me about certain things. I think people focus too much on the past and focus too much on regret. Even like when you deal with schools, like you take like the slave idea. My point is, I've heard of history class. I've never heard of a class that breaks down how you balance a checkbook or how you control your finances, which my father never taught me that. And I've never heard of a future class. So they keep us so focused on history that we start to believe that it actually repeats itself. And we become overly traditional, and we can't advance as a race of beings. We get too caught up in the past and what everyone's saying and what everyone's tweeting. And sometimes you just have to be fearless enough to break the simulation. And when I mean simulation, this is what I mean by the simulation. Sorry, I know you guys wanted to clap, but everything I'm gonna say is gonna be amazing. Here's the idea why you're in a simulation. Let's start with acting, first of all. And a 2-year-old screams at a restaurant, the entire restaurant screams. Teach that kid how to act. We're all unpaid actors in some giant script that we didn't write. Simulation, a 2-year-old jumps on a coffee table and someone says, that's a coffee table, don't jump on that. So it went from being something that makes him feel like Superman, he's got his cape on, to something where he has to think about this person's like a family member he doesn't like anyway. He's 2 years old, he doesn't give a about a coffee or a table. And he's starting to like calculate all these things. And by the time you're 40 years old, you've got a wall full of coffee tables calculating you into traffic, calculating you into your career choice, calculating you into this townhouse that's not quite as big as the townhouse next, and it just never works. That's the simulation that I'm talking. That's what I mean when I say simulation. We are too protective. We always don't want someone to get hurt. Can you imagine me talking to my publicist before I said I'm going on TV again? One of the things I think it got missed on TMZ is the main thing that I was stressing is the idea of trying love. We're always, pushing out so much hate, and love can cure so much. Just to think, am I moving in love? Is this out of love, not out of pride? Pride is a word that people often say in a positive connotation, but it's actually one of the 7 deadly sins. And it takes too much ownership, but you can replace pride with love. And we can defuse this nuclear bomb of hate that we're in as a society by thinking of everyone as our family. And how would we treat our kids? You know, someone emailed me after that song came out and said that they had their mom had passed away and that they had taken 60 pills and that they tried to kill themselves, and they wrote at the end of it, premeditated murder. So this person taking these pills and trying to kill themselves was a form of premeditated murder.
Sure.
And what I said is, like, people are so afraid to face what we're actually dealing with, whether it's opioid addiction, whether it's suicide, whether it's all these things. We would just want to, we want to put a patina on it and not face it. And I think the breakthrough for that album, for me, I don't do old versions of music. I'm looking to just find something new. The breakthrough was to be able to have a song called I Thought About Killing You in this super PC Hollywood, you can't say nothing wrong day and age. It's like Kanye West's first song, I Thought About Killing You, and take you through the thoughts. You know, the other day I tweeted, How to Not Kill Yourself, Part 1. Because when you're an artist and you're creative and you want to give so much to the world against all odds, there's times when you can go into that place. You have to be careful and be expressive and understand that all these people are sensitive people. Like, you get these celebrities and they get a bad photo and everyone just tears them all the way to shreds, and you forget that this is a daughter, a son, a mom, a dad. And, you know, I think I fight for all of us. I wasn't full yay. I don't know if I'm full yay now, or better or worse, whatever, but it was therapeutic just to listen to those songs and sample and go back to being 14 years old in my mom's house. And by the time it was time to do to put the albums out, we have a whole team at Yeezy Sound that will help come and do the drums, help with lyrics, help with choruses, and I'd give 6, 7 people ideas that I want on the song, and I just go to sleep and just wait for them to. I think it's important for us to have open conversations about mental health, especially with me being Black, because we never had therapists in the Black community.